Hi and welcome to Balance My Hormones, another Balance My Hormones video. I'm here with Dr George Touliatos. He's based in Greece, in Athens. Hello, Balance My Hormones, here in Athens. So George works within the realms of TRT and men's health and has a special interest in when men have been exposed to anabolic steroids and they've been affected by them negatively, which can in turn lead to needing things like TRT or medical help. So what sort of, you've had a background as a professional bodybuilder.
Yes.
So I suppose you have a real personal insight into the whole area.
Yes.
So what sort of started that? Have you been doing that for a long time? Did you always have an interest in that? Sort of where have you come from?
Yeah, no, after I finished my residency, and I mean my university degree as a general practitioner, then I started thinking about bringing my passion, which was bodybuilding and athletics, into a competitive level, amateur of course. So I was in the country and I was practicing as a general practitioner, in West Greece, in an island, and then I found my first mentor. But I was start testing myself with compounds that were available in the pharmacy store. So after 6 months of training and dieting, of course, and using my first compounds from the pharmaceutical grade, I had my first contest, and then I had the ability to test myself into the local hospital where I was practicing. Therefore, I could see testing to myself the fluctuations of the biochemical and the hormonal. Yes, they have in the CBC also. All these values that we afterwards we estimated in the books, and I was just verifying what the books say. The theory and the practice. And then I went into my residency, and when I had the time and of course the financial ability, I started competing. It first started in 2000, and then I had a huge break for 9 years, then 2009, then 2010, and my final show was held in 2013. Now I was a very special case where I was a doctor who was bringing the theory and the scientific approach along with the practice. And it's a very, very rare combination. I suppose. Because so when you say compounds, you're talking about anabolic steroids that are available in the pharmacies. CNS stimulants also, yes. And mainly these stimulants and steroids, anabolic androgenic steroids. I was also coming from a medical family, and this fact helped me a lot to preserve my health, and be checked, double checked also. I had this sensitivity in order to understand when something was going wrong, So afterwards, I wanted to become the doctor of bodybuilding community. However, because we know that all androgens and anabolic steroids will suppress the own production of testosterone, it's inevitable 100% of all competitive bodybuilders one day when they retire will face high anabolic steroid-induced hypogonadism, which is basically a late onset of hypogonadism, secondary hypogonadism. And of course, then you need your testosterone supply for life because there's no production of endogenous testosterone.
Which is where TRT sort of comes in.
So in a way, bodybuilding leads to longevity through the replacement therapy, because anti-aging also, the basis of anti-aging is the replacement therapy. So you went through sort of competing as a bodybuilder. You had the ability to sort of check your blood, because I mean, obviously, abuse of steroids obviously leads to health issues. It can do. But I knew in first place what was going on inside of me.
So you knew how the drugs acted, those sorts of things. So you sort of took an approach that was trying to do it in the healthiest way possible. Whilst you did it. And then afterwards, so I mean, some of the guys and people watching may not know how the exposure to anabolic steroids causes
they
you
have
to
complete
then
ignorance,
not
and
produce
actually people were learning from me because I was very outspoken.
Yeah.
In order to tell them that I'm not native, of course.
Yeah.
But here I'm using this. These are the side effects.
Yeah.
Be careful. Don't learn from my mistakes.
Yeah.
So I was kind of a leader.
Yeah.
In a society of ignorance.
Yeah.
And very taboo subject. And taboo subject because
definitely.
it's the ignorance that makes the taboo.
Yeah.
And of course, yes, it's illegal use if you don't go by the pharmacy stores. The point is that pharmacy stores, they cannot justify so many quantities of steroids.
Because there are medical uses, obviously, these drugs.
Of course, all these compounds are for certain diseases. For certain diseases.
Yeah.
But it's the abuse of bodybuilders leads to the prejudice of the doctors. So we give the bad name to the steroids because of the abuse that then make more skeptical the doctors to use them for the specific diseases. For instance, osteoporosis, anemia, cachexia, bone mineral density low, hypogonadism, of course. Yes.
I suppose the same could happen with insulin that bodybuilders use. I mean, diabetics use
insulin is a villain. It becomes a villain and can kill you if you abuse it, of course, because in bodybuilding, it's an extreme sport and we abuse it. But
it was a medical treatment to begin with, and then the bodybuilders have taken it.
Sure, yes. They understood that it's an anabolic hormone. The same goes with growth hormone, Then you have the acromegaly, but usually it's used
for... Big forehead.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So when a man or woman or whatever, particularly in men, obviously with TRT being the result, if they take anabolic steroids, how do they end up with the body not producing testosterone anymore?
Well, gradually, this becomes gradually. So years by years, and most of the users, they do not follow the so-called post-cycle therapy that is able to lift your own hormones until you abuse them again. So in between two cycles, you're supposed to form a PCT in order to feel better, to have a better sex drive, to recover at the gym.
Okay.
But this will shut off again as soon as you inject again steroids. So
you're trying to restart your natural levels.
So I'm telling to the boys, unless you're not willing to stop using for life, then PCT will be wasted the next time you get into the cycle. So if you try for once in your life cycle, then you may recover with a PCT, but you need a lot of time because time is a healer. But you're never gonna reach the initial levels, never again.
So you're always gonna be.
It declines with age also, and with lifestyle. Therefore, it's inevitable and if you have a very demanding lifestyle, you're a bachelor, you have sex drive, you want to lift, you want to look jacked and better, low body fat, then you cannot get along with your own testosterone that after the age of 35 or 40 declines 1% every day.
So you've got the challenge of it not restoring back to a natural level, a good level, and also you've got the challenge of just being older. So your levels aren't going to be as good
Aging is a disease, getting older with dignity. This is the...
Well, this is the thing. We get arthritis. We get arthritis in our joints. The doctors treat that. We
but they don't introduce,
glasses,
for instance, yes, with arthritis, they don't think about inducing a little bit of nandrolone to lubricate the joints. They just use, other agents. So they're very skeptical and prejudiced about, for instance, low bone mineral density, they give vitamin D3 and K2 instead of using nandrolone, for instance.
Because it used to be used for that.
Of course. But now the anabolic steroids, they are not the first, degree choice. Exactly.
Okay, so the older drugs that were used
for anemia, for instance, we used to give oxymethylone. Now they give EPO.
Yes.
Before EPO was oxymethylone, but now they prefer to give EPO, which is very expensive, hard to get. Instead of introducing, for instance, 50 milligrams from nandrolone that will produce EPO secondary.
I've heard of some leukemias and things like that. It may not be leukemia, but some of the diseases where white blood cell count and things like that have dropped. That there is use for things like
aplastic anemia.
Things like that. Some of the steroids were used to improve those markers too.
Basically, all the steroids fight anemia because they boost bone marrow through EPO production from the kidneys.
So they stimulate EPO, which increases that.
So on the other hand, with the abuse, they'll give to erythrocytosis. It's the other way.
Right. Why do you think they? So obviously there were steroids, and we can put testosterone obviously is a steroid and into that sort of realm, and there's a lot of
testosterone actually is an androgen. because men cannot live without testosterone. For instance, the Klinefelter syndrome is 47XO, and it's primary hypogonadism. So the boy is not a boy. He has no pubic hair, no mustache, so he needs testosterone to become a man.
And the brain needs
yes, gynecomastia also. Yeah. So he looks like more of a woman. Okay. So testosterone is what differentiates the boys from a man. So a man cannot live without testosterone. He can live, for instance, without growth hormone, but he cannot be a man without testosterone, as a woman without estrogen. In first place, it's not an anabolic. It has anabolic activities, but it's an androgen testosterone. It's the main androgen. Yeah.
So why do you think steroids were demonized?
Because they are abused for other reasons, for vanity purposes, for sports. Of course, it's unethical in sports to cheat your other athlete, But they are abused massively also by bodybuilders. That brings the plethora of the side effects. Because if you use 50 milligrams of nandrolone per week, it's not have any performance enhancing effect, but it will cure some kind of symptoms. Some diseases. But frankly, who's going to take only 5 milligrams of Viagra per day?
Like a bodybuilder would.
A bodybuilder would abuse it to 50 milligrams a day. Yeah, okay. The same goes for testosterone. Yeah. It's 100 milligrams a TRT dose, but they use it 1 gram per week. Thousands, Yeah. So it's the abuse that brings the bad name, but also the results in sports. Yeah. But this is a different story.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. Okay, so when obviously a man, you obviously now need TRT yourself. Is that right?
Yes, I had to. I waited 7 months. It was 30 weeks after my retirement. So
you stopped using things.
Of course,
bodybuilding.
Yes. Cold turkey. Yes. Yeah. I did the PCT. I was waiting 7 months. Yeah. Now it was the typical symptoms: low self-esteem. Yeah. I was fatigued. Yeah. On mental fat. Muscle soreness, wasting, no sex drive,
energy low,
moodiness in the morning, energy level. So I went to find my mentor in Italy, was Dr. Massimo Spatini. He also follows TRT. He was a bodybuilder. He is an author also. He's a sports medicine. Yeah. And he told me, George, we have 2 options. Either you use clomid monotherapy, but this is not equally to replacement therapy, or you start with replacement therapy. But back in 2014-15, he told me to use it at once a week for instance 125 milligrams. Okay. So it was the very first. I had no idea about how to use the protocols. After I shared the knowledge from the States, and we have to use tiny frequent doses for steady levels, no fluctuations in estrogen, in SHBG, in DHT, therefore to have less erythrocytosis, less gynecomastia, steady testosterone levels, because if you shoot once a week, for instance, it matters when you take the blood test, the day before or the day after.
Once every 3 weeks was someone.
The first one, the half-life of enanthet was 21 days, so every 21 days, in number 2 day was picking up, was
and then
spiking,
was crashing, really
like the libido, for instance.
Libido,
which is very, very slow. It's like a vehicle, but it doesn't work initially.
Yeah, that's what I've heard with chatting to guys that have had libido as an option. That it doesn't really give. Although the blood levels even might look okay at certain points in testing, it doesn't give an optimal sort of feeling of.
So the best way of application for steady level is the transdermal every day.
Okay. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for future content.